begin tonight with a young man by the name of Donald Aloysius Trump. As you know, this young man has been embroiled in the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking scandal and did what anybody who is innocent when facing an accusation of this type, did what anybody who was innocent would do. He fled the country. He fled the country, taking a jaunt to bonny old Scotland. That's probably not the right accent. To leave his troubles in the United States behind and finally gain an ocean's distance between himself and the Epstein scandal and focus on his new trade deal with the EU. I'm sorry, yes, you there, from the Inverness Castle Times.
Mr. President, was part of the rush to get this deal done to knock the Jeffrey Epstein story out?
Oh, you got to be kidding with that.
Donald Trump, he's all like, how did you even hear about it? I thought you guys just got Baywatch like 3 months ago. Doesn't anybody here have a question about this trade deal sinking both of our economies with tariffs? How high do I have to make the tariffs before you guys shut the up about Epstein? But of course, how do you expect the media to move on when even Trump has trouble doing so? And so it was, on the day of striking a trade deal with the EU, Donald Trump presented once more, this time for the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, his classic Epstein defense, 13 reasons why I'm not involved with a pedophile.
Those files were run by the worst scum on earth. If they had something, they would have released. Now, they can easily put something in the files that's a phony.
Which is why I can't release it. It's simple. If I, Donald Trump, was in the files, they would have released it. So clearly I'm not in the files, but of course, I'm clearly in the files. Which makes them phony. I mean, what do they even have on Trump? A creepy drawing Trump gave to Epstein? Please.
I don't do drawings. I'm not a drawing person.
Your Honor, I submit to the court, if there is one thing I would never do, it is draw. As you know, I suffer from tiny hands. I cannot physically even perform the task of drawing. I do not possess the motor skills and muscle strength required. Oh. I cannot draw, not now. Not ever. Although...
Sometimes people would say, would you draw a building and I'll draw 4 lines and a little roof, you know, for a charity stuff. But I'm not a drawing person. I don't do drawings of women. That I can tell you.
I mean, sometimes people would say, would you draw a woman? And I'd draw a parentheses for breasts and a triangle for bush for charity. For charity. I wouldn't call them drawings, more of a cubist pastiche of punctuation and geometric shapes to trick the eye. Some would see a naked woman, of course. Others would see an old woman holding a falcon, riding a hoverboard with a triangle for a vagina. Look, the point is this. I don't draw. In Trump's defense, he did end his relationship with Epstein in the aughts. Perhaps a look into why he ended it will exonerate Trump.
That's such old history. Very easy to explain, but I don't want to waste your time by explaining it. He did something that was inappropriate.
What he said was Epstein had done something inappropriate, and that's why they're no longer friends. You see, Donald Trump recognized that Epstein had finally crossed a line. Now, if it were me, obviously, giving this explanation in front of reporters, I probably would have stopped there. But since I am not. Trump went on to describe Epstein's inappropriate behavior, and wait till you hear what was the Rubicon that Epstein crossed.
He hired help, and I said, don't ever do that again. He stole people that work for me. I said, don't ever do that again. He did it again, and I threw him out of the place, persona non grata.
Yes. You all know him as Jeffrey Epstein, the sex trafficker. But I knew his dark side. He was the sex trafficking, I was like, okay. But he was also a low-level employee poacher. And that, I cannot have. Anyway, Mr. President, do you want to slice this bologna any thinner?
By the way, I never went to the island, and Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times.
You expect me to believe that Bill Clinton went to the island only 28 times? No way. I mean, if anybody had VIP Diamond Island status, there's probably still parrots alive on that island going, hey, Bill, back again. Hey, Bill. Hey, Bill. How you doing, Bill? What's up, Bill? But here goes. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I'm okay. That is truly the best parrot impression you'll hear. Here comes my favorite part of the defense. Trump's ego and narcissism are so central to his being that even his denial of going to the island comes with a caveat.
I never had the privilege of going to his island, and I did turn it down.
The privilege? Hey, Donald, want to go to the island this weekend? Well, first of all, Jeffrey, thank you for thinking of me. Unfortunately, that's the weekend that the teen pageant that I bought is installing the indoor security locker room cameras. Really? But luckily for Trump, it wasn't all Epstein-related pressers. He was able to get in some of his beloved whack-a-ball.
Mr. Trump, are you enjoying the Scottish hospitality? Are you enjoying the Scottish hospitality?
See? There you are. You enjoying? Get in my belly. Are you enjoying it? There you go. That's what it's about. That's got to soothe Trump's soul.
Mr. Trump, can you escape the Jeffrey Epstein crisis?
Is Epstein what they yell in Scotland instead of for? Epstein! Boy, this is tough. To extend the golf metaphor, Trump finds himself in the rough. But he's a championship caliber golfsman, battle tested. And I think we all know how the best golfers in the world get out of a bad lie.
Donald Trump being busted cheating at golf. We can see a caddy dropping a ball there for the president while he played at one of his courses in Scotland.
When the going gets tough, the tough pay someone to cheat for you. But this moment on the course, seemingly random, could not be more representative of Trump's entire existence. He moves with complete confidence in this world because he requires that everyone in his orbit do whatever they can, including cheating, to ensure that things go Trump's way. This has been his whole life. Don't want to go to Vietnam? Get a podiatrist friend of the family to bone spur you up. Your casino is failing? Perhaps Daddy can illegally float you $3 million in chips to try and save it. Impeached for an attempted coup? Your caddy today is the Kentucky Fried Reaper. And never like to speak ill of the dead. Why would you even say that? And obviously for the Epstein case, Trump has no shortage of caddies willing to shame themselves. Here's Congressman Tim Burchett, pre-Trump, being named in the files.
Congressman, why do you think so many Democrats are committed to protecting the list of a dead pedophile?
Too many of my colleagues, I'm afraid, are compromised in this area for whatever reason. The trash can is very deep. It's not a swamp. It's an open sewer.
It's a sewer. Democrats are all over the plane logs. It's an open sewer. I'm sorry, Trump was also on Epstein's plane? Need a ball drop over here?
You know, President Trump admitted that he flew on his dadgum plane. Just because somebody flew on a plane doesn't mean they're a dadgum pedophile.
Wow. You know what? I always find that the worse it is, the folksier they get. Well, Mr. Trump, he's not a daggone, gosh darn, dag-nabbit pedophile. I mean, kiss my grits. I'll guarantee you he's not using that terminology in other sex offender cases. Well, gosh darn if Diddy ain't 2 biscuits short of a country biscuit. He's 2 biscuits short of a country breakfast, but that don't make everyone at the freak-off cracker-barrelers. I honestly think my favorite thing about this is watching conspiracy theorists have to unravel the red string that they themselves originally strung out. Here's the OG conspiracy theorist Glenn Beck at his excitement for Trump's beginning of the second term.
The only thing I care about is the scandal of the pedophiles, and in the next 10 days, you're going to see the Epstein file released. Day number 1, Kash Patel walks in. By the end of the day, it will be released.
Day 1! Deep state exposed. Oh, I'm sorry, Trump's in the rough? I'll get right on that ball drop.
What the left is saying, and some people now on his team are saying, he's in the report. With 15-year-olds? Really? Do you actually believe that?
I have seen some clips that would be consistent with... did buy a teenage beauty pageant. But listen, Beck, you're the master at making connections, so let's see you unconnect it.
I mean, let's be honest. 20 years ago, if, this was like, hey, he was on an island with 25-year-old models, I would be going, probably, okay? 15, 16-year-olds, that's not Donald Trump. It's not Donald Trump. I don't believe that. Do you? I say, no way that's true.
What? No! You're not, there's no magic X. You can't just magic X conspiracy theories. White people being replaced by voting illegal immigrants? No! The X has spoken. But of course, Trump's caddies can't do everything, and it's given Democrats hope that they finally have Donald Trump. For so long, the Democrats have been Wile E. Coyote to Donald Trump's Roadrunner. The Democrats thought they had Trump with the felony convictions. They thought they had Trump with the Access Hollywood tape, but every time he got away. But now, with the reporting on the Epstein files, the only way that this guy wiggles out of this one is if for some reason convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell swears under oath that Trump had nothing to do with it. But why would she do that? Coyote, you finally got the Roadrunner.
Mr. President, the President completely ruled out a pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell when you landed. Is that something you would ever consider, and why?
Pardon for who?
For Ghislaine Maxwell.
Well, I'm allowed to give her a pardon.
Meep, meep.
As we said, Trump is in Scotland right now, seeing as his favorite island destination has been shut down. When a president travels overseas, it's important for them to project strength and dignity, although an uninvited insect made that a little harder for President Trump. Damn, girl, you got moves. What is this? Is he voguing? Shoo fly, sashay away. Feels like Trump's accidental dance moves are way more impressive than his intentional ones. Very weird. Anyway, I do understand why he was so frantic. That mosquito was also asking Trump about Jeffrey Epstein. Now, to be clear, Trump was not just wasting time playing golf. He was also wasting time profiting off golf.
The president capping off his trip by officially opening his latest golf course today in Scotland.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Just a reminder, this man is still the president of the United States. There's a lot going on in the world, and he's at a ribbon-cutting ceremony to promote his golf course? Is this his side hustle, or is America his side hustle? Who knows? I have no idea. The point is, we're just used to this now. But imagine if when Obama was in office, he kept flying on Air Force One to open up Pizza Hut Taco Bell franchises. I want to announce we killed bin Laden, and the new chalupa is half price at 3 p.m. Liv Moss, not you, bin Laden. But don't worry, while Trump was in Scotland, his administration was busy with the hard work of making things weird at home.
Looks like the Trump administration is encouraging federal workers to talk about their religion in the workplace.
A memo from the Office of Personnel Management cites the guidance as being protected by the First Amendment and says employees can tell others to rethink their beliefs, but they must stop if their coworkers tell them to.
No, absolutely not. If you're going to approach me at work and ask, have you heard the good news? It better mean there are donuts in the break room. Otherwise, keep it moving, Zachariah. Can you imagine how humiliating it would be to have your fundamental worldview changed by Susan from accounting? And who would have the balls to convert a coworker? I don't even feel comfortable telling my coworker she should get bangs. She should, though. Stacey, you should get bangs. You need bangs. But Trump's biggest achievement this week was the trade deal he announced with the European Union. And since we all know Trump is so good at deals, it means everything is now going to be cheaper.
The U.S. will impose a 15% tariff on most European products we import. American businesses will pay those tariffs and pass the cost along to consumers by raising prices.
It is amazing what individual products we could see impacted here, from autos to Botox, as a result of these tariffs.
Wow. Oh, my God. That's wild. Everything from automobiles to Botox? Am I pronouncing that right? Is that right? I don't know. I'm not there yet. Just not there yet. Don't Google it. But okay, the trade deal is going to make things more expensive, which makes you wonder, what are we getting out of these tariffs anyway?
We have so much money coming in. We're thinking about a little rebate for people of a certain income level might be very nice.
Okay. Now, this is the art of the deal. Everyone pays more for everything, and then a few of us maybe get a little bit of our money back. Man, this guy is always playing 5D, hitting yourself in the balls. Keep in mind, Trump also promised rebate checks from Doge, but all we got out of that was Trump calling Elon Musk a drug addict and Elon saying Trump was a pedophile. You know what? Never mind. That actually is better than a rebate. A lot better. So, yeah. The whole thing is just a mess. And you know who I feel worse for? Those poor penguins who we tariffed, who now have to suck for rent money. Let's start with Kristi Noem, Secretary of Homeland Security and woman who keeps insisting that she and her daughter get mistaken for sisters. She was down in Argentina this week to sign an important visa agreement. So as you would expect, this is the video she released. Government diplomacy or a Valtrex ad? I won't let sores stop me from getting in the saddle. Can you imagine how nervous that horse was? Remember, Kristi Noem shot her dog for talking back and then shot her goat to get rid of the witnesses. She was petting that horse like, this could go one of two ways, Seabiscuit. I dare you to give me a reason. All kidding aside, breaking news, we actually scored an exclusive interview with that very horse. Let's go live via satellite to Kristi Noem's horse. Oh. Oh, no. Ooh. This is awkward. Never mind. Let's move on to the Environmental Protection Agency, which used to protect the environment, but is now run by this man, Lee Zeldin, seen here watching an oil tanker crash into a coral reef. And he's telling the environment, hey, girl, it just feels better without protection.
A stunning reversal that could have unprecedented climate impact. The EPA is now looking to repeal a 2009 study linking man-made climate change to health hazards.
The 2009 declaration has served as the basis for climate regulations, like limiting emissions from cars and power plants. Now, the White House is rolling it back in what EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin is calling the largest deregulatory action in the history of the United States.
All right, this is crazy. What kind of EPA chief wants to make the environment worse? Does he have that Munchausen by proxy thing where he gets off on making the planet sicker? Oh, Earth, you're coughing again. Here, take these special vitamins that are definitely not poison. But look, how would Zeldin know that climate change was a problem? It's not like he can just look at what's right in front of him.
EPA is proposing to rescind the 2009 Obama EPA endangerment finding to eliminate all of the greenhouse gas emissions regulations that followed, including electric vehicle mandates.
126 degrees? Or as we'll call it in 20 years, winter. Oh, gosh, in 20 years I'll be 35. Oh, yikes. Don't Google it. Let's move on to Secretary of State Marco Rubio, the only man who says, I'm all ears and means it. The State Department's latest target is something very close to my heart, cervix.
The government may destroy almost $10 million worth of birth control bought with tax dollars instead of sending it to women overseas. It's sitting in a warehouse in Belgium right now, and most of these items don't expire for another 2 to 3 years. But the State Department says they may have to burn all of this birth control now that USAID has been dismantled. Officials say it'll cost almost $170,000 to destroy all of those contraceptives.
Are you kidding me? They would rather spend $170,000 to destroy $10 million worth of birth control that they already bought rather than give it to women who need it? At least sell it. You're Donald Trump. Just slap your name on it. Call them Trump cooter shooters and rake in enough cash to pay down the national debt. I don't know. Figure it out. This is why people should start stocking up on birth control now. Personally, I always have at least 7 to 9 IUDs implanted at all times. You never know when the girl in the next stall is going to need one. And finally, let's move on to Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary who puts the tank in another Tanqueray, please. He's only been on the job for a few months, but he's already looking for a promotion.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has privately discussed running for political office next year, specifically for governor in his home state of Tennessee.
Wow, Pete, what an awesome idea. You'd be a great governor of Tennessee. I am so sorry, Tennessee, but you're just going to have to take one for the team on this. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Wow. It makes so much sense. You should just leave now and go do it. In fact, why waste time? You should resign yesterday. Tennessee, we are never going to forget you. Love you. R.I.P. Pete would be a good governor or not, he could definitely use a change of scenery because after 6 months of dealing with leakers in the Defense Department, he's kind of starting to lose it.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has finally earned a rare rebuke from the White House over his obsessive paranoia about leakers inside the Pentagon.
Hegseth was directed by the White House to stop using polygraph tests to search for people leaking information to the media.
That's right. Hegseth has been polygraphing so many people, the White House had to tell him to stop. Do you know how paranoid you have to be for even Trump to be like, calm down, not everything's a witch hunt? And by the way, who's Pete Hegseth to be accusing other people of leaking? He's like, if you've got something to say, you don't text a reporter, you come to me, and then I'll leak it to a reporter on a Signal chat. That's the protocol, people. That's the protocol. For the past few weeks, the national conversation has been totally dominated by the Jeffrey Epstein story. But who would have thought that the thing that knocked it off the top of the charts would be Sydney Sweeney doing the most laid-back line delivery I've ever seen in my life.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has her genes.
Johns are passed down. My Johns are blue. I love my blue Johns, blue. I love her so much. Okay, so there were a bunch of different reactions to this ad. Some people thought, yeah, pretty standard ad where a hot person tells you to buy stuff. Other people were like, wow, Desi, I saw you in that jeans ad and you looked great. And then I had to be like, no, that was Sydney Sweeney. It's a common mistake. Anyway, but then there was another reaction online, which is that the ad wasn't just selling jeans. It was also subtly promoting white supremacy. And as you can imagine, that spawned an incredible right-wing backlash.
What these left-wingers don't know is that they are revealing themselves to be the actual racists here, racist against white people.
They're mad because she's young, hot, healthy, white, and blonde.
Liberals they just hate hot people. They just do.
Yeah, that's a great point.
It's a great point. It's a great point. I thought they just hated meat and freedom, but they also hate hot people. They do. By the way, are you guys kidding? Liberals love hot people. They love hot people so much they're apparently willing to give them one free murder. But it wasn't just right-wing media. It was also people who you thought had more important things to do, like pick-me Senator Ted Cruz.
Texas Senator Ted Cruz, he wrote on X, wow, now the crazy left has come out against beautiful women. I'm sure that will pull well.
Yeah, you tell him, Ted Cruz. Hey, if you want to talk shit about a woman and get away with it, you better be talking about my wife. And if you can believe it, it gets grosser than Ted Cruz.
She's a hot
beautiful biological woman, and everybody loves it.
I thought it was a joke about her, two most prominent assets. I'm sorry, as a red-blooded American male, it's not her blue eyes or her skin that I first see when I look at that picture. She is a lovely young woman. Too young for me, unfortunately.
Why do you think people are so mad about that ad? It seems much less sensual than the one Brooke Shields did back in the 1980s.
Sensual? Brooke Shields, that was sensual. These guys are so horny for a jeans ad that they started remembering older jeans ads they were horny for. They're withdrawing 40-year-old treasury bonds from their spank bank. Now, Betty Boop, she was sensual. Can Stuart Varney please not say sensual anymore?
You celebrate the sensuality that's in those two jeans ads? You like it?
Oh, stop saying sensual! Do you ever see that time-lapse video of a deer decomposing in like 10 seconds? Every time I hear him say sensual, that's what happens to my uterus. That guy saying sensual can make anything less sensual, and I mean anything.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring.
Sensual?
See? Not sensual. It's not. Can anyone possibly make this story even more gross?
Donald Trump Jr. posted this AI-generated image poking fun at Sydney's commercial. Donald is so hot right now.
Yeah, who wants to f my dad? You know what? I am done hearing from men on this. Perhaps we can get some sound analysis from someone who isn't suffering from boner brain fog.
Finally, we have an actual woman with amazing breasts and an obviously kick-ass body who is in a dress or in her jeans, whatever, and it's wonderful.
Jesus. Megyn Kelly's more horned up than they are. It's almost making me miss sensual. Basically, Megyn thinks the people who oppose this ad are just jealous haters who wish they were as hot as Sydney Sweeney. But come to think of it, I did see someone going after her recently. Who was that again?
Sydney Sweeney, the new toast of the town out there because she's got these enormous breasts that everybody's obsessed with.
Well, Megyn, one minute you say you love boobs, the next you don't. What are you, my, in hindsight, very gay high school boyfriend? And by the way, Sydney isn't the first woman Megyn's gone after for being hot.
I object to like J-Lo and Shakira showing their vag at the Super Bowl.
She dresses like a prostitute. She looked like a hooker.
Look at this. Her enormous breasts and a bathing suit was her chosen outfit. She hasn't come to grips with the fact that she's not a sex symbol anymore. You seem to be a desperate hoe wanting strangers to admire your vagina.
Yeah, that's right, women. You listen to Megyn Kelly and hide your sexuality. Unless your body makes liberals mad, in which case it's a kick-ass body. Hell yeah, go girl. You motorboat those liberals here. But not so much that it threatens Megyn, or so help me God, she will destroy you, hoe bags. Remember, this whole thing started because people were calling this ad a racist dog whistle. And whether that was intended or not, the reaction was definitely more of a dog megaphone.
We're sick and fucking tired of the nonsense where you are not allowed to ever celebrate someone who is white and blonde and blue-eyed.
We're over this woke agenda. We're over the Lizzos. We're over the Dylan Mulvaney's. If this was a 300-pound, non-binary person, they would be applauding her.
I was so sick of seeing these just fat, unappealing losers who've destroyed their own bodies.
She's not a plus-size swim model on the cover of Sports Illustrated. She's not a male prom queen.
This ad is the final declaration that we're done doing that shit.
Guys, calm down. It's just an ad for John's. Blue John's. This is such bullshit. Blonde women have had constant representation, okay, in entertainment, in fashion, in letter turning. It's not that they want to see more white women. It's that they want to see none of anyone else. For a story about boobs, it sure has a hell of a lot of assholes.